Imagine boarding a plane for what should be a simple holiday getaway, only to find yourself in the middle of the ocean's most terrifying nightmare. Trapped in a sinking plane, surrounded by sharks, survival is no longer about luck. It's about courage, sacrifice, and choices no one should ever face. Brandon, the bodyguard, travels with Ava, the daughter of a powerful politician. At the airport, Ava meets her friends Jed and Kyle. The boys don't like that Brandon is coming along, but Ava explains that her father would never allow her to travel without security. They board a flight to Los Cabos. Ava and her friends take seats at the back for more privacy. Shortly after takeoff, the plane shakes. At first it seems normal, but when it happens again, passengers start to worry. The pilot announces they struck some birds and assures them it's under control. But the turbulence worsens, and suddenly one of the engines catches fire. The pilot instructs everyone to fasten seatbelts. Fear spreads as a piece of the engine breaks off, smashing into the cabin. The crack in the wall causes bags to fall from overhead compartments. Within moments, a section of the wall rips open, leaving a massive hole. People are pulled out into the sky. Brandon tries to save a man, but the force is too strong, and he's swept away. Others cling to seats, but even the metal gives way. A flight attendant attempts a rescue but falls out with a passenger. The plane violently crashes and plunges into the ocean. Water rushes in. Brandon is hurt by flying debris as the impact throws seats forward. The aircraft sinks to the seabed. At the back, an air pocket forms, saving Ava, her friends, and flight attendant Danilo. Kyle's arm is broken. Strange sounds echo outside. Brandon reappears, bringing Rosa and her grandmother, Marty. Marty is unconscious until Danilo manages to revive her by performing chest compression. Rosa asks about her grandfather, and Brandon gently explains he didn't survive. Seeing panic rising, Brandon calms everyone and takes the lead. They decide to stay in the air pocket and wait for rescue as they are safe as of now. Ava checks her phone, but there is no signal. She suggests swimming out, but Brandon insists it's too dangerous. Danilo believes the pilots likely sent a distress call before crashing, so rescue should be on its way. Brandon realizes they need backup oxygen. Danilo searches the rear tanks, but they're empty. Marty remembers a passenger had a medical tank. Brandon dives through the wreckage to find it. As he swims past lifeless passengers, a shadow moves outside the window. He secures the oxygen tank and heads back. Suddenly, a tiger shark attacks through a gap in the fuselage. Brandon barely escapes and delivers the tank to the group, apologizing to Ava. But then, the shark drags him away into the dark water. Shaken, the survivors retreat to the staff section and decided to continue waiting, following Brandon's advice. Marty, who once served as an army nurse, tends to Kyle's arm. He cries out as she resets the bone and creates a splint from magazines and bandages. Above, helicopters search desperately for the crashed plane, prioritizing the governor's daughter among the victims, but fail to locate the wreck. Meanwhile, the survivors hear the wreckage creak and the plane shifts, indicating it could fall further anytime soon. Suddenly, the water turns red. The sharks have entered inside the plane and are feeding nearby. Rosa panics, but Ava reassures her, promising they will be rescued. Time passes. The water level keeps rising, and they estimate only a few hours remain before the pocket is gone. Jed warns that the fuselage won't last long under pressure. Suddenly, the wreck shifts and slides further down a rocky slope, settling at the edge of a deep abyss. The wreck creaks again, and they see a shark slams into the broken metal outside, shaking the plane. Far above the waves, the crew scans the endless ocean, but they couldn't locate anything. Fuel already runs low. Realizing the seabed is not safe, the group agrees they must swim out of the plane. But first, they need a way to keep the sharks away. Rosa remembers that sharks don't like air bubbles, something she learned in her class. So they decide to use their inflatable vest to create bubbles. Still, they worry about how long they can hold their breath underwater. Ava steps away for a moment, pretending she needs the bathroom. The stress of the creaking plane is too much, but when she comes back, she comforts Rosa, telling her that it's okay to be scared. Above them, the rescue helicopter is running out of fuel. Just when things seem hopeless, the crew spots broken pieces of the plane floating on the water and sends 2 divers down. The divers quickly locate the plane and approach the survivors. The survivors wave from the window, but suddenly a shark sneaks up behind one diver. Before anyone can warn him properly, it attacks, leaving the group horrified. From inside the plane, they hear noises and then see the diver's leg drift past the window. The second diver is nowhere to be found. With little fuel left, the helicopter is forced to leave, though the crew now has the exact coordinates of the survivors. Inside, Ava suggests taking the diver's oxygen tank if he hasn't made it. She peers through the water and sees a shadow but can't confirm what it is. Jed climbs up to check but slips into the water. Before he can pull himself back, a shark drags him down. The others manage to rescue him, but not before he loses a leg. Marty quickly uses seatbelts to tie the wound, while Jed cries knowing he will never race in triathlons again. Still determined, Ava dives into the flooded baggage hold using a flare. She finds out that it's completely flooded. In the dark water, she is startled by an octopus before her flare burns out. She keeps searching until she finally finds the scuba equipment and brings it back. The group discovers there are only 4 diving suits. Then, to their horror, they realize Jed has died. Ava breaks down in tears in grief and pain of losing him. The plane slides again but stops abruptly and water rises fast. They know they must leave now. Using Rosa's idea, they prepare oxygen canisters from the emergency masks to make bubble walls against the sharks. Kyle, terrified of the water, admits he has been scared ever since a childhood accident at a pool. The group convinces him to come anyway, and Ava gathers as many masks as she can without going too deep into the water. The ceiling cracks, and the survivors say goodbye to Jed before swimming out. The cockpit breaks off and falls into the dark canyon, showing the rest of the plane will soon follow. Marty, knowing she cannot keep up, decides to sacrifice herself so the others can move faster. She urges Ava and Rosa to go first. As the girls swim through the corridor, they encounter the shark swimming toward them. Ava releases bubbles from her vest, and the creature turns back into the shadows. They continue moving forward. Marty stays behind, accepting her fate, waiting peacefully as the water rises. Kyle panics, swimming back to find air, but a shark suddenly attacks him, devouring him quickly. Terrified, Danilo quickly joins Ava and Rosa. Together, they find the dead diver and take his air tank to breathe. Ava gives the only 2 tanks to Rosa and Danilo, inflates their vests, and sends them to the surface. Just as she prepares to escape, she notices the shark heading straight for her. As more sharks push through the broken hole, Ava makes a desperate choice. She swims toward the front of the plane, clinging to seats as the wreck tilts downward. With all her strength, she pushes forward and slips out through the front opening just moments before the plane sinks into the deep abyss. Now, free in open water, Ava kicks upward toward the surface, but her lungs give out and she begins to lose strength. Her body goes still as she drifts, but the inflated vest keeps her afloat. Slowly, she rises until her head breaks the surface. She gasps in panic, looking around, unable to see the others. Then the sound of helicopters cuts through the waves. Rescue crews lower lines, pulling her safely aboard. Danilo and Rosa have already been saved. Rosa, exhausted but safe, lets go of her treasured plush toy, dropping it into the ocean as a final goodbye to her grandparents. She then rests quietly in Ava's arms, finally at peace. And that was the chilling story of survival against the ocean's deadliest odds. If this tale kept you on the edge of your seat, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button. And remember to tap the bell icon so you never miss another story of courage, fear, and the fight to survive.